You have arrived at Pioneering to Empower in the Kelly and Kelly Crypto Show. We are the history in the making right now on fertile grounds with Kelly B out in North Carolina, Turtle Island. Hey there, Kelly.
Hey, Kellyanne, and welcome everyone.
And this is Kellyanne out in northern New Mexico as we recognize what is really up and out there and the disruption created on the outside looking into the crypto technology. It's your prolific knowledge about this peer-to-peer dimensional economy on a distributed public ledger is priceless. And you are priceless too. Bitcoin is not just on the fringes anymore. It is becoming mainstream, whether it's miners, payment processors, wallets, developer tools, large enterprise blockchain solutions. The reality is simple. Bitcoin and its blockchain are growing up, and the future they are opening to the world is as vast as that, unlocked by any of the greatest technologies in history. Learn and earn Bitcoins by signing up at your sponsor's referral link. This conversation is sponsored by Nexus with 2 X's, an open source, decentralized digital currency with instant transactions. As you can see on your screen is a library full of over 90 Kelly and Kelly crypto shows with lots of resources, information, and data to help you and educate you, inspire you, empower you in the crypto space and with Nexus partners, Nexus University. We always start with our elevator pitch. The world is in a financial crisis. We are empowering people to take back control of their monetary system with the biggest disruptive technology in modern history. It is disrupting the financial and political establishment's power structure, our money. You can now put a bank in your pocket and no government or bank can tell you how you can and can't use your money. Who do you know that would like to capitalize on this new unstoppable trend? For those of you that are new, coming in, I see that I messed up on my stuff here. There is a guide you're supposed to go to. There it is. No, there it is. For any of you that are new to this call, that are coming in, and I do see a lot of new names, the first thing you do when you sign in and you join as an affiliate, you go to the Getting Started in Your Nexus Business. It's at the top left-hand corner of your portal, and you will become enlightened first. And that will take you 2 hours. It's a 2-hour video. So enjoy that video and become enlightened before you continue on. And as you can see, these are the steps in your training for you to get to that point where you are actually going to go through this certification courseware. So first you become enlightened by taking this course. It's 2 hours, the history of money, the Bitcoin solution, understanding cryptocurrency, and of course there's a certification exam. Now, if you mess up on the exam, it don't matter. You just keep answering the questions until you get it right. So it's nothing to worry about. Every single one of these has an exam at the end of it. The Cryptocurrency Enlightenment has a really cool exam. It's really actually a lot of fun. And if you make a mistake, you can easily just change your answer. So get through all that. That's 17 hours, by the way. But just make sure you stick to your guide. And I am lost today. Woo. Right here. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5, and Step 6. So we have a special guest today. And that is Juan S Galt. Juan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having me. It's a fun show already. I'm looking forward to it.
Good. And Juan is a Bitcoin and blockchain technology researcher and enthusiast. He's worked in many communities such as Dashcoin. I'm sure you all are familiar with Dashcoin. If not, you'll find out a little bit maybe from Juan today. Supernet, the NXT coin, and of course Bitcoin.com. He's worked with Cointelegraph. Am I right so far?
Yes.
Now, what I want to ask you is, before we get into all the nitty gritty on, I want to know first, what enlightened you back in 2012? I mean, or was it, when did this happen to you? I mean, What caused you to get over into this cryptocurrency and Bitcoin space?
Mhm. Right. So, well, I found out about Bitcoin from a libertarian show in, I think it was 2011 or something like that. And I immediately tried to buy some, and I did manage to buy some, and I held it and all that. And about 2000 and I want to say end of 2013, I was living in Toronto, and I was just, I'd been like doing shitty jobs my whole life, right? Like call center, security guard, and all this. And I guess something clicked for me. Something happened, and I was like, okay, I need to change my pace. I need to start thinking in the future and all that. And what the interesting thing about Toronto is that there's a Ethereum, there's a Bitcoin hub called Decentral. It's still there, and it was one of the founding places of Ethereum, and it was a very big sort of Bitcoin meetup place, and it's sort of like a working space, and it had 3D printers and all kinds of fun stuff. And so I started going there weekly, and I ended up learning about Bitcoin from people that are very deep in the space. One of the people is the one that founded the crypto consortium, which is like a technical sort of skill or knowledge certification process, an open source sort of standard, and I ended up learning from really smart people that are deep in the space. And from there I started writing. I met Amir Taki. Actually, my first article was about Amir Taki. This guy is if you haven't heard of him, he's like a crypto anarchist wizard, right? He came up with the concept for the decentralized marketplace, and he came up with it in the hackathon that I was sort of reporting. He obviously had already thought about it, but he created the proof of concept there. I was there, and so that was very exciting. And I wrote about it, and I published it on my blog, and it apparently got like 300 views in a day. So I was like, hey, this is not bad, right? And people were like, yeah, that's not bad. So I started writing, and it kind of took off from there.
I love Amir Taki. So is this your blog here? No, it's not, is it?
Well, it's sort of like my flagship website. It's right now. It's where I sort of I just have some of my products and my old articles. It's not really. I haven't really been updating it because I'm working on a new branch of Freedom Hacker.tv called Coin Olympics, and Coin Olympics is basically my YouTube channel. I'm going to be focusing it. It's already focused on just blockchain technology, and so I'm just pushing that show right now, and I'm working on the Coin Olympics website, and I need to update this one.
Okay, so
and that's. Mm-hmm.
The Coin Olympics, you just go to YouTube and just plug in the search criteria Coin Olympics, and you come up first.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, so Coin Olympics is about talking about blockchain technologies and about this great competition for the best money, right, or the best kinds of money. And I mean, I don't really know. People say, oh, there's no free market example ever in history. It's like Bitcoin and the internet. You can't have more free market than Bitcoin and the internet. And I mean, to my knowledge, and I love it. So that's what the show's about.
So you got started with the Coin Dash. Was that the first thing, or?
No, the first thing was Ethereum, I'd say. Well, I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Ethereum was very interesting. And then right after Ethereum, I got into NXT, which is another sort of smart contracting platform. And it's funny, just a bit of sort of inside baseball. Back in the day, Ethereum was heralded as a great, very important thing because it had Turing completeness, which means that it's very flexible in its programming, whereas NXT is much more rigid. It's more flexible than Bitcoin, but it's a lot more rigid, right? You have to put features into it instead of being a language that lets you write anything, right? And this was a big competition because NXT said, well, NXT is more secure. Ethereum said, well, Ethereum is more programmable. And so I went, I put a little bit of money on Ethereum. I stayed in touch, but I went to NXT, and then I started working with Supernet, which was meant to be a anonymous, decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. And funny enough, right after the Ethereum hack happened with DAO, the price of Ethereum like doubled. Sorry, the price of it doubled, and I think that it's partly because people realize that indeed there is a security cost to having a cryptocurrency be so programmable. But anyway, so So yeah, the SuperNet was meant to be like a decentralized anonymous exchange. That hasn't really panned out the way that we wanted. It hasn't really been implemented yet. I guess they're perhaps too ambitious, right, or too I don't know, maybe not organized enough. I'm not exactly sure what happened. They're still working on it, and they have some products, but it's not quite what I thought it would be. And so I started working with Dash, and Dash is a decentralized, anonymous, very anonymous cryptocurrency, and with instant transactions, and they have a very interesting governance model, which lets them be very flexible and actually have a built-in business model, which is something that a lot of cryptocurrencies lack because, and they have trouble. Like one of the most important things about cryptocurrency is how do you fund software development, and Dash solved it by having part of the block rewards that like some of it goes to the miners, some of it goes to the people that anonymize transactions, and some of it goes to a kind of voting submission pool, right? And so all the holders that have a special sort of stake in the network, they say, well, I think we should fund this project or that project, and based on those votings, every cycle, money from the block reward gets given to the developers or this media project or that or development project. And I predicted that this would make Dash very flexible, and that was at the beginning of very adaptable and very efficient, and that if any coin had a chance of taking over Bitcoin, it probably would be Dash because Bitcoin has a massive network effect, and network effect is something that's very hard to take over, as we've seen. But Dash is very flexible and very useful and has a very strong community. And so, that was in January. The price was around $5, and right now the price is about $14. So far, it looks like I was onto something.
Very awesome. We also have Bob Wood here, which is the CEO of Nexus University. Nexus Partners. Hello there, Bob.
Hi, Kelly. I'm just listening in. I'm just always curious to seeing what some of the other experts in the industry like Juan are doing, and love everyone's experiences that they've had and things that they've learned. So, this is good stuff. I know that I've been following Ethereum also for a while. You've probably seen all the software hiccups. They keep missing every delivery date. They finally got their act together and got Ethereum launched. The end of last year, beginning of this year. But, they've got a good platform, and I know the NXT. Now, did I also hear that NXT was kind of like a group of Ethereum developers who went off and developed NXT, and NXT was like a subset of Ethereum functionality?
That's interesting. Well, nice to meet you, Bob. I've never heard that before. NXT's story is also very interesting. They have kind of like a Satoshi Nakamoto themselves. I can't remember what his name is, but basically some anonymous developer came to the Bitcoin Talk forums in late 2012 and he said, hey, listen, I've created a proof-of-stake cryptocurrency from scratch, and I am willing to finish the development of the core sort of security and continue working on it for the next, 6 months or something, if I get 20 Bitcoin, and all the proof-of-stake will be given to all the people that give me the 20 Bitcoin proportionally, right? Wow. And effectively, a bunch of people gave him 20 Bitcoin, and that's the birth of NXT. And the money, of course, got distributed over time. And some people have said, some reputable people like Adam from Let's Talk Bitcoin has said that this NXT is one of the most decentralized cryptocurrencies. Have presumably he's talking about the stake value being distributed among as many people. I don't know how you would figure that out, but that was the birth of NXT, and I don't know that it was Ethereum people. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, it might not have been NXT, but there was another. It seemed like there was a couple. There's a couple smart contract companies that were floating out there, but one of them, and it may not be NXT, was a spin-off of Ethereum developers.
Lisk? There's Lisk, and then there's Ethereum Classic.
Maybe it was Lisk. It might have been. Right. It was one of those. That one starts to sound familiar. I was over in London meeting with the COO of Ethereum, and just meeting with him and talking about what he was doing, and getting to know him a little bit better. And he was telling me some of those stories. Matter of fact, it was back when Ethereum was trying to launch, and he was telling me, he said, don't go to Ethereum. He said, He said, I'm all about Ethereum. I'm in love with Ethereum, but Ethereum's not ready yet. He said, we haven't even launched yet. And even when we launch, we still haven't built a network yet. But it looks like they're making some good headway now, getting the Ethereum up. But I'm also all for competition. So I love the fact that there's at least 3 substantial smart contract companies out there, because they'll only make each other better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. It seems to some degree they've underestimated themselves repeatedly, or at least they've underestimated how much people want to use something like what they're building. When they first did the first pre-launch, they started accepting money, and within like 2 days they'd received like 10 times more than they were expecting, and they actually had to cancel the investment sort of opening, right? And then they had to
nice problem to have.
Great problem to have. And of course they did it again, and once they had enough code, they actually launched the decentralized crowdfunding campaign, and they broke records as far as decentralized crowdfunding in history. Boom. And then the DAO, they did the Raise the DAO, which is tragically funny, and they were expecting 10 million, and they break their own record. They raise 150 million. So they're constantly underestimating themselves, and it's incredible.
Yeah, good. Where are you located, Juan? What part of the world?
I'm in Acapulco, Mexico.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We were just down there.
Oh, really? Wonderful.
Well, so Juan was at the speaker at the Anarchapulco conference, and Bob Wood was there, and I was there, Kelly was there, and we got to listen to Juan. He was up there speaking about Dash, the Dash coin.
Did he speak in the main room or one of the breakouts?
Nope, main room.
Well, then I heard him, and I've forgotten, I guess.
Well, he had long hair, and looks different from this picture.
Was he wearing that great hat then?
No.
Yeah, the speech is on YouTube. I'm quite proud of it. It's my most viewed video, which is kind of funny. Anyways, so Acapulco is coming up, and if you guys don't mind a quick shameless plug, Acapulco is known as the biggest anarchist conference in the world. This is the 3rd one in a row, and I've been to all 3, and they've all been very good. The people that come here are very interesting, very unique people, very smart people. And this year is going to be even better than last year. We have like one of the best sort of spots for a conference. It's beautiful, and there's a lot of crazy plans for the conference. So, check out the website, and I strongly suggest you keep an eye on it. And if you use the coupon code CoinOlympics, no space, CoinOlympics, you get 10% off. So, and you get to support my show. So there you have it.
Good deal. Good deal.
10% off with the code CoinOlympics. Tell us a little bit more about Coinolympics.
Sure. Well, that's pretty much what I told you about. It's a show about following the main, the competition between cryptocurrencies. And it's an opportunity for me to reach out to communities, to influence communities, and because there's a lot of, I like that there's a lot of passion behind cryptocurrencies, but sometimes I find that there's not enough clarity of philosophical thought or sort of kind of moral thought, right? Like, for example, people keep confusing cryptocurrencies with like government democracies. Ethereum, people got really pissed off when somebody maintained the old Ethereum chain. For people that are not paying attention to this or not up to date with it, Ethereum had a major fork after one of their biggest applications got hacked for about $70 million. And so the whole community was like, no, this is theft. And indeed, I think it's theft. And they were like, no, this is theft, so we're going to fork the Ethereum blockchain and undo that transaction, right? Well, this violates one of the core sort of principles of cryptocurrencies, or of Bitcoin anyways, which is immutability. And immutability says that you don't have the right, or basically you shouldn't undo transaction history. The only reason for forks is to upgrade the code or deal with a security problem or something like that, right? But they went ahead and did this anyways, and they were expecting everybody to just comply with the consensus of we're gonna fork and undo this transaction. Well, this isn't a government, right? So the people that disagreed just maintained the old blockchain, and this created Ethereum Classic, and now there's two competing Ethereums. Ethereum Classic runs for about 15% of the price of Ethereum Core, I call it. And this is just another example of where people sort of kind of philosophical thinking just like leads them astray, right? And right now there's tensions between the two communities, and that's often the argument on the other side is that they're just, they're not going with consensus, right? And well, the Ethereum Classic people didn't consent to it, so that's the nature of blockchains. That's kind of the point. So, but it gives me an opportunity to get in there and sort of, jab some.
You're seeing the same thing with Bitcoin too. You're seeing, different camps wanting, different features in Bitcoin, and it's going to cause, different parties to form. There are a lot of people pushing for the Bitcoin 2.0 to handle more, a larger larger transaction size. Your larger block size to handle more transactions. So you're going to see that. That's all part of a new emerging technology going through a maturation process. But the key, like you said, though, Juan, is it's by consensus and it's driven by the public and the open market. There's no central authority making the decisions. That the public makes these decisions. What's best for everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Not a democracy. It's just not. No. What we're going to do is we're going to segue over to what you're doing with BitSquare. I'm so excited about this BitSquare. It's like it's not even close to being like local Bitcoins, but it's like a major step ahead of local Bitcoins. And so if you could, speak about BitSquare, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So BitSquare is a decentralized Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchange. And by decentralized, like we mean hardcore decentralized. Like you download a client, it all runs sort of like your torrenting software, right? It's the distributed hash table, and there's no central server. There's a website, but you download the software from there, and then you connect to a decentralized network. It connects through Tor by default. You don't have to do any tinkering or any complicated technology stuff. You just download, install, and you're on Tor. At least through the BitSquare client, everything that happens on it is on Tor. It uses end-to-end encryption. It is as hardcore as you could imagine, and it lets you buy and trade Bitcoin with people all over the world. And it uses fiat person-to-person payment systems like cash deposits or national money transfers or a variety of other sort of payment mechanisms, and lets you sort of coordinate with whoever you're dealing with. There's a there's arbitration system just to help kind of deal with the risk of fraud, and so you can choose your arbiter, and we're sort of working on getting more arbiters on board. Right now it launched about 3 or 4 months ago, so we're still in the growing stage. But the whole point is that you don't need to trust a central server somewhere that collects a bunch of funds, right? When you deal with the arbiter, you're locking the Bitcoin that's going to be sold, and both buyer and seller put down a collateral on a multi-signature address, and that multi-signature address also is so it's 3 keys, the arbiter, you, and the buyer, and so the money is stuck in a multi-signature, which cryptographically forces at least 2 of the 3 people to sort of come to an agreement, right? And the whole point is that that it'll work, and so far it works. And this is a common standard for arbitration that's been used by local Bitcoins for 5 years or so. So we know that it works. We just decentralize local Bitcoins, and it's in many ways we're trying to make it more user friendly and provide the anonymity that local Bitcoins lacks. Local Bitcoins is a website, and we know that websites, when they piss off the government enough, can be taken down, as we've seen in the torrenting space. Torrenting websites taken down all the time. So that's the goal, to really provide decentralized, anonymous Bitcoin trading.
How do you verify the arbitrators? Because it seems like you could have some collusion there if you got like a bad actor playing to be an arbitrator and then siding up with someone and stealing funds.
Right. So one of the security mechanisms there is that any arbitrator has to put down a 2 Bitcoin collateral, and transactions we don't allow right now more than 1 Bitcoin transactions. Right. So.
Gotcha.
So exactly.
It's like it's like being bonded.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they're also using a rating system, so it's just like,
community feedback. Yeah.
Exactly. So they got that going on, and then they lose out big time if they cheat or do anything that they shouldn't be doing.
Actually, I don't think we have a reputation system right now. We are sort of talking about its pros and cons, yeah, we don't have right now. I think everything is just random. Everybody's an equal player. The other thing that we do is that we don't really we try to avoid any fiat payment mechanism that allows for chargebacks, because the majority of the fraud happens with chargebacks.
Right.
And so when you just take those out of the equation, your risk goes down significantly.
What for those on the call that just maybe, this might be going, woo, way over your head because you haven't been with the Nexus University long enough to really understand all of this stuff and go through all your courseware. BitSquare is different when we say decentralized. The easiest way to describe that is you're not uploading your soul. You're not uploading your know your customer KYC. There is no Patriot Act to abide by as far as BitSquare is concerned. It's completely peer-to-peer with the arbitrator basically center stage in so many ways that you choose that arbitrator. So it's something that's never been done in the history of all of life form. And it's something extremely different that's never been done in the cryptocurrency space. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see that because there's a lot of third-party online, and this isn't even online. Like he's saying, this is more of an application where you use it against your torrent. So you're not even having to deal with a website. And again, something very different, something very new, and it just takes care of that one little thing that is called decentralization, which is actually a big thing.
Yeah,
right.
You may want to describe to folks also what Tor is.
Yes. So Tor is, people might have heard of the dark web, right? And where all the nefarious sort of things may happen, and that happen are in the all the things that happen in the internet that are not normal internet are the dark web. Well, the dark web mostly happens in something called Tor, which is an open source project that lets people anonymize their location in the world through a particular software that they download, right? And that's one thing that's important to recognize about the internet. Every time you connect to the internet, you're basically telling somebody out there where you live, right? Because your ISP knows your home address, and your ISP assigns a unique ID to your house. In order for them to give you the information that you want, they need to know where you live and give you a unique ID, so they don't send it to somebody else. It's like mail, right? Well, that information gets relayed throughout the internet so that you can get your information. And there are some sort of protections that ISPs tend to provide, but in general, it's not that difficult to know where you live, or at least the general area of where you live, right? Well, what Tor does is it mixes up this transaction flow. It anonymizes it by a variety of very complex sort of systems, right? And it works well enough that journalists do it regularly. It works well enough that there's plenty of illegal stuff going online, like you've heard of probably the Silk Road and stuff like that, where people actually buy and sell weed online, and or other sort of drugs and stuff like that. And there's definitely bad stuff down there, right? Well, BitSquare uses Tor natively to buy and sell Bitcoin, and you don't have to worry about the technicals of it. So that's what Tor is. And it's a very important thing to consider particularly when you're under the pressure of oppressive governments or governments that don't really care about the freedom of their citizens to whatever degree you prefer. So
Yeah, I think even with cryptocurrency, in the United States, it's completely legal. There's nothing illegal about cryptocurrency, but the establishment still doesn't like it. So there's a good reason why you don't necessarily need to reveal, what you're doing with your cryptocurrency, or that you're doing anything with cryptocurrency. The banks don't like it. The government doesn't like it, even though it's completely legal in the United States and around most of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it solves, it's from a security perspective, anonymity is very important, particularly online, and the reason is identity theft. If you look up the statistics, identity theft is, I think it's almost twice as expensive as all other kinds of theft combined. They probably don't count in government theft, which some people consider theft. I consider theft, but they don't. It's twice as expensive as most other kinds of theft. And when you sign up for a Bitcoin exchange, like a compliant, centralized Bitcoin exchange, and you go past their limits of verification, so you can move bigger amounts of Bitcoin, you're giving them your information. When you sign up for a bank, you're giving them your all your information, right? And if they get hacked and that information gets leaked, somebody can actually impersonate you and open up a bank account on your behalf, get a loan on your behalf. There's a lot of things that you can do when you have somebody's SIN number, or when you have somebody's legal name, or when you have somebody's home address, right? You can really wreck society's sort of security system, and the internet is really doing that slowly. It's eroding at that, right? And so anonymity is really a security protection against a lot of things, including identity theft. So that's a very important thing to mention.
That's good. So how's the user base growing with BitSquare?
Mm-hmm. Well, since I started, I guess, doing some promotion, perhaps because of me, I think the last week we saw a significant rise in volume and trading. I haven't checked in the past couple of days or so, but people are jumping in, and we're getting a lot of attention. People are liking it. Again, it's a 3-month-old project, or at least from launch. We've been working on it for about 2 years, more or less, and the team has been working on it for about 2 years, and so it's definitely growing, and we're here to make this go long. So we're going to keep working on it. But, check it out. There's definitely volume. You can trade Bitcoin. You can trade a variety of cryptocurrencies. And you can trade like almost any fiat currency that you can trade on money transfers. So there's definitely action going on.
Is this all manual transactions, or is there any API capability to BitSquare?
Right, so that's one of the most requested features, to bring in some APIs so that professional traders can move more volume. The question is, the problem is that banks don't provide APIs, and so you can't really automate the fiat transfer side of it. But one thing that we're looking into is supporting a cryptocurrency token that mirrors, say, the US dollar or euro, sort of like the Tether, US Tether, or there's a variety of coins that are trying to do this. And once you're in only crypto land, it's a lot easier to do API automation. So it's something we're working on, but right now there's nothing like that.
Gotcha.
Are they maybe possibly bringing other coins? Did I hear that, or did I dream that?
Well, we have a variety of coins. We support Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, NXT, Dash, Monero. There's a variety of coins, and you can see them on the client. And we are open to other coins. We simply ask them that they go through the submission process and tell us about their coin. And basically, we want to make sure that coins that join us have a strong community and have significant volume and are not just sort of a scam, because, well, there's a lot of scams in the crypto space, right? It's very easy to create a cryptocurrency and create a website and put some marketing on it, right? We want to make sure that they have a strong community and that people really think that they're worth something, right? And so we do have a vetting process, but we're very much. It's not difficult for us to add another coin, so we're always kind of looking out for that.
Can you talk to our viewers about that? About what your thought process is on that whole pump and dump schemes, the scams on the coins, and then community. What is community in this space? What does that do, and how does that benefit?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a question that Ethereum Classic is facing right now. Ethereum Classic. Well, no. Let me sort of tell you about kind of what I go through. So whenever I look at cryptocurrencies, first thing that I look for is uniqueness. They have to have something that's new, something that's special, and something that's special enough that I can say, okay, this could make them go up in value because they actually have a new product, right? And if you look at all the cryptocurrencies that are up there in market cap, they all have some gimmick. They do something that others don't do, and so that's very important. The other thing is how active is their community, right? How many people are engaging in it? How much volume is traded? That generally depends on how early or how late you want to jump in. You want to look at the volume. As far as the community goes, I think one of the most important things that communities and coins can figure out, improve, is their quote-unquote governance system. And what this means is how they fund development is fundamentally what it is, and what their kind of social contract is, right? And this is a social contract that's actually consensually sort of agreed upon, right? People, when you join the community, when you buy the coin, you are now bound by the rules of the blockchain, and so it's important for people, and what the community thinks is important, right? So, for example, immutability, right? And so you want to sort of look at how this community is organized and how they're funding their development, right? Other things that people tend to look at is how were the first coins when the cryptocurrency was created, how are they distributed, right? Did the founders mine the first month of the cryptocurrency and keep all the coins? Therefore, they're massive holders of the coin, right? And that's usually called a pre-mine, and that's usually seen as a negative, because when they get out, they can take out a lot of the money that later investors put in, right? So pre-mines are generally are frowned upon, right? I don't really see cryptocurrencies with 20% for the early adopters is usually pushing it, right? Like that's about as much as you know. So it depends, right? But you want to look at that, and it's hard to know. I mean, there's 800 or so cryptocurrencies, and they're all trying to become number one or number three at least, and if they do, they make ridiculous amounts of money. So they're all trying to bypass those kind of intellectual defense systems, right? And so you have to pay attention. You have to go talk to people. You have to learn about the foundations of blockchain technology so that you don't get fooled by marketing. And you probably should read the white paper if you're looking at cryptocurrencies for investment. Read the white paper and try to understand it. Maybe go talk to some of the developers. I know that the Nexus course talks a lot about how blockchain works and how decentralization works, and that kind of information education will help you understand cryptocurrencies better. So it's very useful. And I would say those are some of the most important things.
Well, it's definitely apparent that very, very few altcoins have figured out how to provide real utility. Ether is a good example of one that's created real utility, but most of the coins just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, indeed. Well, and there's a lot of speculation, right? Cryptocurrencies are very volatile because there's a lot of speculation, right? And that's fun if you're a crypto trader. I mean, you can make a lot of money if you know how to play the markets. But pretty probably at least 50% of the money in the space is speculative. And the only coin that has really the only features that have really gathered use in the cryptocurrency space are the fact that you can move money around the world fairly easily, which is what Bitcoin does. I like what Dash is doing. They provide anonymity and instant transactions, and their governance system is very agile and very, very useful. If you look at any coin that has anonymity, like Monero or any of these, they have an actual utility. If you look at Steemit has been very popular lately. I'm skeptical of their economics. I'm not convinced that they're sustainable yet, but perhaps they'll change that. But they have a social media, and they're paying people to write blog posts on Steem. So that's bringing in a lot of new people and has made them one of the top cryptocurrencies. So there's utility there. Something like NXT lets people create their own kind of stock shares for their own company and pay dividends and and trade on a decentralized marketplace, and it also has anonymity process, and so some of them have useful tools, but most of them, I don't really see. Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to know what most of them are because there's just so many, right? But some of those are, I think, some of the features that have greater utility, but it's not easy, right? It's definitely not easy to come up with that.
What's your thoughts on the maturing of the protocol processes too? Moving a lot of the new modern coins now are moving to proof of stake coins. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's been happening for a while. I think NXT was actually one of the first coins that really drove that. I think Peercoin was the first coin that created a proof of stake, and well, I think proof of stake is very interesting. I like that. It makes sense. It's simpler from a security perspective. There's trade-offs with mining, and that's a pretty deep conversation that I don't think we need to get into, but I'd be happy to. I think to some degree it's inevitable. Right now, if you look at coin market cap, let me just check real quick. Look at coin market cap, the top cryptocurrencies. Of course, Bitcoin is proof of work. Ethereum right now is proof of work, but it's going to switch to proof of stake in the next, probably 4 months. Ripple is centralized, so I don't count it. Steemit is 10% proof of work, 90% proof of stake, but their proof of stake is different. It's very interesting. It's a different kind of proof of stake, but it's basically proof of stake. Litecoin is proof of work. Ethereum Classic is proof of work, but we'll have to make a decision about that in the future. They might actually stay proof of work. Dash is proof of work. NEM, I don't know what they do. I think it's some sort of proof of stake. Well, NEM is a fork of NXT, so it's probably some kind of proof of stake. I don't know what MaySafe does. I don't know how they secure their network. But their coin is on top of Bitcoin, which means that's proof of work. Monero, I'm not sure. Dutch coin is proof of work. I don't know what List does. They're probably proof of work. If they are a copy of Ethereum, which I don't know, then they are right now proof of work probably. I don't know what DigixDAO is. Factom is probably proof of work. Cinero's coin is on top of Bitcoin. So proof of stake hasn't really made the top as far as demographics go. NXT and NEM are the only ones up there. But I think that to some degree it makes sense. Just it's not that expensive computationally, and it lets people get interest on their holdings, right? So you would actually be securing the network by holding your coin on a wallet that's connected to the internet, and it's staking, right? And instead of competing to solve the puzzle that secures the cryptocurrency with how fast your computer can guess the problem, you're voting based on every coin that you own has a vote, and so everybody's sort of playing this lottery to win the next block and secure the network, etc. So I like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's worth exploring, but I don't know. We're sort of yet to see how the market reacts to it.
Well, I don't know if Juan is even aware of it, but we have our university here, and that is our foundation, and that is we're getting ready to deploy the Nexus Global Rewards community by way of when a transaction occurs, then a Nexus coin is purchased. The Nexus coin is out there. Many of us have Nexus coins on our desktops. It's proof of stake, and we're not even on exchange yet. We're just doing it by crowdfunding, and gave out our initial distribution at this point. So that's where we're at. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I know that you guys have a coin. I don't really know. I don't know much about it, but I hear it has instant transactions. That's a good feature. It's interesting curious to hear how you guys do that. I mean, I'm happy if you want to tell me more about Nexus, I can maybe tell you what I think, or maybe what you can do with it, or I don't know.
I'm going to let you take this one, Bob.
I was just sitting back, just seeing how you were going to do.
Okay, well,
Nexus coin is a proof of stake coin. It's a fork of the black coin, but the idea its market distinction is more business than technology. We wanted to base it off of a solid technology platform like Blackcoin. It's got a good it's got a good following, got a good support infrastructure from the development community. But what most coins are missing is a good, solid business model on top of the innovative cryptocurrency technology. So that's what we're doing. We're saying, what can we do to provide consumers with a benefit for using cryptocurrency? Because we know that the mainstream public isn't going to start using cryptocurrency until three things happen. Number one, that it's easy to use, easy and convenient to use. Number two, it's secure. And number three, that there's a benefit in it for them. There's no reason for, right now, my mom to use anything other than her credit cards and cash. She gets no extra benefit out of using Bitcoins. So she's not going to start using it, and that's probably true for the most of the mainstream public. There has to be some benefit, and usually a commerce benefit. So we have built a Nexus Rewards community, which is it's a shared loyalty program where hundreds of thousands of merchants all over the world can sell their goods and services and then offer cashback rewards, and then those cashback rewards, of course, can be spent on any of the other merchants. But the cashback reward is paid in Nexus coins. Nexus coins is also one of the accepted payment coins in the Nexus Rewards community, so it spends like cash like any other coin. But that's what's unique about the Nexus coin is it is the internal currency, similar to Ether. It's the internal currency of Nexus Rewards. And its value is driven from every purchase of any coin. Nexus Rewards Community is an industry solution that supports all the top cryptocurrency coins. So you'll be able to go to Nexus Rewards Community and spend your Bitcoins or your Ether coins or your Litecoins, your Doggy coins, your MadeSafe coins, any of the top coins that you want to. You could spend those and earn cashback rewards. Get a better deal from the merchant when you buy, with any of the coins. So that's kind of what Nexus is doing. It's putting a business model on top of the innovative cryptocurrency technology.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think one of the things that the Bitcoin space has learned, cryptocurrency space has learned, or has been learning, is that most people don't care about ideology. And in a sense, that's the point of cryptocurrencies, is that people don't need to know about the ideology of the product. As long as the product is good for them in the marketplace and gives them benefit, that's good. So I'm happy that you're applying sort of common sense business practices to your coin, and the reward systems have worked for a long time for credit card companies, stuff like that. So
it really turns out to be a win-win for what we call a win-win-win for both the merchants and the consumers, because the merchants get new customers they couldn't have got otherwise, and it's completely risk-free for the merchants. They don't pay anything, to join or be part of that. The consumers, they get a cashback reward, so they get a better deal from the merchant, so it's a win-win there. But the real secret, Juan, is in the merchant acquisition, because that's the biggest problem, is how do you build critical mass with any solution like this that brings buyers and sellers together. Critical mass. There's got to be enough merchants for the consumers, enough consumers for the merchants. So how do you do that? We're deploying a method of leveraging independent affiliates internationally, all over the world, and then financially incenting them to go ahead and help gather the merchants, sign up the merchants. That's why we think we're going to rapidly be putting on hundreds of thousands of merchants all over the world, and we're not going after big online stores. We're going after all the small businesses and the individuals, trying to sell stuff and making it easy for them. So we're really saving Main Street, empowering the small businesses to capitalize on cryptocurrency. But we do that through the affiliate network. So this independent affiliate network is part of our secret sauce in building critical mass, so you can provide a solution that is both a win for the merchants, a win for the consumers, and turns out to be a win for our affiliates because they share in the revenue model. So they end up making nickels, dimes, and quarters, earning nickels, dimes, and quarters off every transaction that happens with cryptocurrency. So it's an interesting model.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how well it does. I think that kind of affiliate marketing program is known to be very effective and really gives people an incentive to act on their passions instead of promote a cryptocurrency. So that's I'm excited about that. And Blackcoin is a very interesting cryptocurrency. I actually met one of the lead developers, very, very smart guy and a good guy. And so I'm happy that you forked Blackcoin. And yeah, that sounds good to me. I don't really have a problem so far.
Well, we'll keep you posted.
All right.
Well, Juan, it's been wonderful. I would like to see what Kelly B wants to interject. Hey, Kel.
I, I'm just sitting here through this whole interview and you saying, I'm just so glad that I'm here. All I have to do is make friends and become a shopper, because all this technical stuff, if I had to come and be a computer programmer or something like that, I would have never been able to seize this opportunity. So I'm just so glad to be here at Nexus and have the opportunity just to make friends and shop. So, yeah, it's great. I'm also great. It's great to see what you're doing there at Bitstamp, because most everybody knows that I am a true anarchist, and I don't want to give anybody my identity, any government, state identity, anything like that. So especially like one of these web-based wallets that they want to KYC you, I run and run. So it'll be great to use this and see this, and also having the decentralization come in a big way, so that the old establishment doesn't secretly come in the back door and try to take over cryptocurrency. So I know the smartest people are on this side and believe in decentralization. So all that's good, Juan. It's great to have you today.
Thank you so much. It's been fun.
And I'll also say, too, we were a sponsor last year at Anarchapulco, and Tracy Young and I have already decided we're going to be a sponsor again next year, so you will see us there.
Wonderful. Look forward to it.
Hey, Juan, what was that on YouTube?
Coin Olympics.
That's right.
CoinOlympics.com. Website. I'm working on the website right now.
Oh, you're working on the website.
Yeah, Coin Olympics.
Okay, coin.
Yeah, but I should have it ready probably today, and well, not today. Next few days.
Maybe I'm not spelling Olympics right, but I know you came up first.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Anyways, yeah.
There's no space in it.
Yeah.
Oh, no space.
Or Juan S Galt. If you look up Juan S Galt, you'll probably get it.
Say that again?
If you look up my name, Juan S Galt, that might work.
So we just want Juan
Yeah.
S Galt.
Yeah.
There you
You'll
find
see Coin Olympics there.
Yeah.
No space, yeah.
Coin Olympics. No space. Okay, perfect. Well, awesome. It's been a great time, and thank you so much for being with all of us today.
Mm-hmm. You're very welcome. Again, it was a good time, and happy to come over some other time. And, I like what you guys are doing. I think education and ease of use, and going for the non-sort of techie, geeky consumers is a great idea. So I wish you the best with that.
Thank you. I'll see you around, because, you're always there every time I get on Facebook.
Yeah, I see you on Facebook, too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Juan. Nice meeting you, Juan.
You too. Nice meeting you. Take care, guys.
Aloha.
Bye.